Hello and welcome to a level 105 Bard setup guide. So today we're going to go over how I set up my Bard in my multi-boxing with my monk. And kind of go over all the skills, and this might be useful if you don't multi-box, but it might not be, so it's just up to you. This is going to be additive to the 100 and 95 and probably 90 and 85 videos. I can't remember how many I made, but this is a process of building a character, right? And this is just the 105 version. All right, so let's go over my bar here. So my first bar on one, I have Sila Sonata, which is just the run really fast. Sila's ability lasts for 5 minutes. Really good spell. I use it as much as I can. I leave 2, 3, 4, and 5 blank. Those all correspond to my monk's spamming abilities. And I don't want my bard spamming anything because the bard is here for ADPS, the bard is here for CC, and it is here for support. It's literally here for support. That's to say I don't not melee or anything else with my bard. I just don't have it on my spam buttons because if I need my bard to not be in combat, I don't want to have to deal with every time I hit 2, the bard's going to turn on attack and start doing something. So those are blank. I have sit on every character in the same spot, so they all sit and stand at the same time. Just makes it easier for certain things. Then I have a burn button. So my first burn is Fierce Eye. All the bard burn abilities are pretty much AAs, so it's pretty nice. Don't have to worry about the disciplines and stuff like that. So the first one here, Fierce Eye, gives everybody in the group 24% more melee damage, 24% more crit melee damage, 300% chance to proc your weapon, and the chance to damage your damage and healing specs will be critical. So those procs, an extra 12% on that. So this is just all around more damage, and I'm not concerned about buffing the bard's damage as much as I'm concerned about buffing the monk's damage. So and if you're not boxing and you're just playing, the bard is support, and the bard wants to help everybody else, and this is one of those abilities. But this is a burn because it's a this one's only a 3-minute reuse, so you could probably use it more, but I believe it's pretty costly. Let's actually see real quick. Costs nothing. So it's a 3-minute reuse, so I might actually put that in my my spam button now that I realize that. But right now I only use it for that. Then we have Quick Time, which enhances the rhythm of all the group members within 100 foot. Increases the attack power by 1300, accuracy by 90%, and reduces their weapon base delay by 14%. So this is just more damage in a support way, right? Increases our attack power, which increases our, I think, max hit. Accuracy, so we're not going to miss, and then weapon delay, so we attack faster, right? Very nice. Then 17, use item, is my breastplate, which will give us, where is it at? Grants your group increased melee damage and spell damage. The effect becomes more powerful for each successful note. Bards receive masterful version, so more damage, more damage, more damage, more damage. That's all I can say about that. Lyrical Prankster. Right here summons 5 gargoyles. A little lower. Actually, no, this one's this is a different one. That's I think Song of Stone. This one summons 5 level 104 doppelgangers with hatred equal to you. So this is kind of like a distraction ability. pretty nice there. I don't know how much damage they do. Then I have another one, a burn 2 with Funeral Dirge right here. It increases the damage your target takes from melee attacks. So this will make the target I'm targeting take more damage, 22% to be exact, for 1 minute. And then triggers this Shrieking Death, which does 35 damage when it finishes. So if the mob lasts for more than a minute and 6 seconds, it will take 35,000 damage. So that's pretty nice. And then Phony here. So here, this is 10,000 damage, and then 11,000 damage every 6 seconds for 1 minute. So you can kind of see that's a lot of damage, and it will have a chance to interrupt their spell casting. But that's not the really big things. Every 6 seconds it could interrupt it for a minute, so it's kind of nice. But the damage is really good too. Frenzy Kicks. This will reduce the reuse time on our kick skill by 3 seconds for 24 seconds. And we auto skill kick as a bard. It's the only thing we have. And then Dance of Blades, which will grant you 100% chance to dual wield and double attack, increasing the chance that you triple attack by 100%. So every attack we're going to hit. Then we're going to Flurry of Attack, up to 2 additional primary attacks. Triple attack by 56%. So our melee actually becomes no joke at this point. Your accuracy is increased by 115%, and it grants your melee attacks a chance with a 600% bonus to trigger Blade Whirl, which does 6,700 damage and reduces your target's armor by 75 and the resist by 140 and their melee speed by 60% for 36 seconds. So this is like the all-around, this is an all-around spell, right? This buffs you, this slows the target, this debuffs the target. It's like a Tash almost. And it does damage, so it's pretty nice. And that's Dance of Blades. And then 1,000 Blades is one of the few disciplines which just increases our melee accuracy. It's kind of the same as Dance of Blades. And our chance to do critical damage by 5% and a 200% non-cumulative increase to damage to your critical melee attacks for 1 minute. So that's just all around a lot more damage coming out of that. And then my burn 3 button, which is Song of Stone, which is right here. This one summons the gargoyles, 9 level 104 gargoyles to attack your target for up to 60 seconds. So it's a lot of damage there. At this point, we do Spire, which is Spire the Minstrels, which just increases all our damage, I believe. Damage done by spells by 2,000 points. Reduces the damage you take by 7%, and minimum damage on your melee attacks by 75. So it's just all around very nice. And then, let's see here. Then we do Vainglorious Shout, which will lower the resist of everything inside of a cone and deals 155,000 damage. Very nice, just an extra get screwed. All right. So those are the burns. Then I have Fading Memories, which just takes me out of combat for a little bit of mana. It's like 3%, but instant remove you out of combat and make everybody forget you. Then I have my mount, right? So all my characters have the an escape ability and their mount on the same equal and minus sign. Then I have an assist macro, which is X target 4, so all my characters have the same extended targets kind of set up here. 1 being Tawani, 2 being Nilv the Bard, and 3 Ketka the Shaman. And then 4 is Tawani's target. So Tawani is currently targeting the target dummy. So you can see it's targeted there. So instead of doing assist main or whatever, I just do X target 4 and instantly targets whatever that is. I turn attack on, I turn Merc assist on, which I don't use as much. Then I do a disc reflexive rejoinder, which is a, if I only click the right button, there we go. So delivers 4 slashing attacks to your target, restoring a large amount of mana to your group. So this is kind of like a mana restore, and hopefully it works out really well for me. I had the previous one in there. I had just bought this spell right before the video to add it in here, but there we go. And then I have a combat AA kind of macro here. This is just some short duration AAs that I can use, right? So I got Phony, Bladed Song, and Boastful Bellow, and let's see if we can open those up real quick. Bladed Song causes your target to take 850 damage each time they land a melee attack, so it's a damage shield for 850. Not a whole lot, but it adds up. Boastful Bellow, it's kind of a nuke. It does 18,000 damage, stuns the target for 1 second, and improves the risk modifier, so it lowers the resist for 20 points for 18 seconds. And then after that fades, they take 155,000 damage. So it's pretty nice. I actually had that, not on these characters, but my other bard. I was in the Broken Mirror fighting a boss, and I totally wiped except for the bard because I had hit fade. And I kited the boss down using Boastful Bellow and fade. It was pretty crazy. I had Boastful Bellow, fade, back off. For some reason the boss didn't regenerate health, but I was able to get everybody back and save the day. Alright, and Phony, because I have no idea how to say that word, and every time I look it up I forget how again. So this one deals 10,000 damage and then 11,000 damage over 6 seconds. I think I already talked about this one, but just another, more damage from the bard to do anything I can to help. And then I guess I should have probably went over spells before, but we'll just keep going with this. We'll go over spells after all this. So I have Misc, so numpad 7, 8, 9. So this is Mez X target 5 and 6, and then AE Mez, right? So 5 is the target after the target that's being attacked, and 6 is the next one after that. So if I pull 3, the first one is going to be targeted by Tawani, and the next 2 are going to be 5 and 6. So I have just a little macro here that stops song, targets 5, pauses for 5 seconds after casting song 12, and attack off. So I'm making sure I'm not attacking, and I target this thing, and I start casting the Mez. So Mez, what's the current Mez? Is Slumber of Sil. So, and the same thing here on 5 and 6. The only thing changes is the X target. Then I have an AoE Mez, so Wave of Torpor right here. So 30-second AE Mez for, I think, mobs up to like 105 or 106. Not as useful as you'd think it would be on certain cases, but when it works, it's awesome. When it doesn't work, it's terrible. But same thing. Attack off, song, stop song, cast it. It has a 30-second reuse, so you can kind of do whatever you want in between if you want, but yeah. Then I have all my clickies here for the campfire, POK, 2 of them for Guild Hall, Throne of Heroes, Origin. Let's see here, Sonic Disruption. This is my pull, so if I'm pulling on my bard, which I do sometimes, I will use the silence, right? This is the lull, so it'll lull anything up to 105. I lull everything up, and I use Sonic Disruption to pull them in, since bards don't have anything else. Then I have a follow macro, which is pretty much just stand X target 1, which is always Tawani on this character, a / follow Tawani, and then I activate 3704, which is Sila Sonata, and then I invite Tawani also. And that's only useful when I first log in, right? I hit invite Ketka, invite Nilv on my hotkey button here, and then when I hit follow on everybody else, they all invite Tawani, which joins Tawani's group. And yeah, so it kind of saves the time there. So I don't have to click it on everybody else. Melody rest. So this is just 5 and 7. So chorus and lively crescendos. I don't use this one as much. I just usually have my normal melody going. But when I want this one, I can just do this and it'll regenerate mana. But mana regenerates so fast at this level that it's not even a big deal. The only one who doesn't regenerate mana fast enough is the bard. And if you mount up, it seems to go really fast anyway. So see here, and then I have my combat melody. We'll go over that here in a minute. And I have a stop song macro. This just stops song. That way I can just click it and be done with it. I have a group macro here. It's just invite Tawani. And then I have all the special AAs down here. Banker, Tribute, Peddler, etc., etc. These are just special AAs that everybody gets from the special tab that are useful for different things. Just depends. Lesson of the Vout is probably the best one. 100% bonus experience for 30 minutes. And I think that's everything there. See here, I covered disciplines, so we only really use reflexive disjoiner and thousand blades. Everything else I don't use as much. I bet this one would probably be useful, but things just don't matter that much, honestly, when it comes to things. I don't use an aura. Let's go over spells, I guess, now. So I use Aria of the Maitreus, and this is just a damage increase for spells. This is and this is gonna get level capped here. I need to get an upgrade for it really quick. And increases the I think this is the over haste one, and the chance of flurry for everybody. So see here, arcane melody. So this is a new one I just got at 105. Fuels the destructive force of your members, applying additional damage to their attacks and every spell they do. And then this is just typical haste spell here. It does 60% haste, 250 strength, 140 attack, and a damage shield. Yeah, so pretty nice. Then we got Spry, Sonata. I don't think I've gotten an upgrade for this one yet. I have, I need it. But this one will increase our armor class, our resistance, and reduction to damage shield attacks. Now, I mostly cast this because it increases Tawani's armor class and offhand damage shield attacks, because she's hitting so fast that she can almost instantly die to certain mobs. There's a mob in Kale with a damage shield that was like instantly killing me. It was just like so annoying. So it's something to worry about there. Then chorus here is just a mana song with health regen. Saf's insult. This is just a direct damage for 4600. It's pretty nice. Just a little extra damage from the bard. Try to get as much as I can in there. And then lively crescendo here. This is kind of a weird mana regen song. You cast it, right, and then in I think like 30 or 40 seconds, I can see if I can find it on my thing. It has to expire, and then you get the mana back. I don't even know where it goes. There it is. So 35 seconds. It's not going to tick down in here in guild lobby, but in 35 seconds, everybody gets mana regen and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice. Song of Suffering. So this is another one, kind of adds to Tawani's damage. That's my focus, right? It gives her a proc, so she can do more melee damage. Generate less hate than normal too, so that's pretty nice. And if you have mercenaries, it all lands on them too, but I don't have those. Dichotomic form here. So this one Triggers 2 psalms, sister group. One will increase the damage most spells, so it's the same as the aria. And the other will provide mana, health, and whatever. And it also increases the minimum damage of all melee skills. I didn't notice that one before. But this one doesn't last as long, and it's not always up. So, one of those... it might be able to replace one of these, but I haven't looked too much into it. I just cast them all. And then I have Silence of Sil, which is a lull on 105, which it's useful for pulling. Wave of Torpor is the 105 AoE Mez. I haven't used it yet. I just got it when I leveled up last video or so. Slumber of Sil. This is a Mez up to 108. Really good. A lot of things aren't mezable, so that's kind of a downside. But when they are, it's useful. So back to the melody here. So Aria, Arcane Melody, Haste, Sonata, or Spry Sonata, and then 6, which is Insult, and then I kind of repeat, and then I go into 8, which is Suffering, and then 5, which is Chorus, and it just goes on and on, just kind of rotating those around over and over again. But I try to get all those up to from like 1 to 9, and then 10, 11, and 12 are all utility. But they're all in there. You can do it however you want, but I think that's just how I decided to go with that. But let's see here, what do we got here? I think we went through all those when I did Burns. Rallying Call, just a endurance mana regen targeted. So if I want to, it's like almost like a focused Paragon, honestly. If like Ketka needs mana, I can just go over here and I can do Rallying Call. It only works if they're under a certain percentage, 30%. So it's kind of it's almost like I use it in combat sometimes, but it just depends. And then solo, same one, but it works on me. Give me a little bit of my mana back if I'm low. But it just depends. There's Breastplate. We talked about Bladed Song, Boastful Bellow. I just have all these on here so I can see if they're used or not. Dirge the Sleepwalker is probably worth talking about a little bit. This is a long duration single target mez for mobs up to 108. But you have to kind of like keep your concentration on it, so you kind of like target it and just cast it. I don't have a hotkey for it. I've actually never used it, but it's there if I need it. But I just have it. Let's see here. That's a duplicate. Throw that one off the bar. Tracking. I always track. I'm always looking at tracking. I have it up pretty much all the time, just so I know what's going on in the zone and what kind of mobs are around. Last Stand, Hymn of the Last Stand here. Increases your maximum hit points by 42,000 and your arm cast by that. So if I remember to hit this, I could probably avoid a wipe maybe, but I always forget to use it. So Shield and Notes is another one. Absorbs 56% of incoming damage up to 150,000, which is not that much. And or spell damage and melee damage, so that's not a whole lot of damage at this level anyway. Death Dance, which is allowing, so this is like a dodge, I think is what this one was. So you can avoid most attacks, evade them all, right? And you dual wield every round, so nice little bonus you get. It's nothing to write home about though. Gribbles, this is just for when I was doing Gribbles. I didn't want to type it every time. Target the Gribble, hail him, leave, and lead. Just the buttons for those quests. And then I have these on here, duplicate, and then a Sop Song. So that is all of my spells, and that I know in the bar or the monk one I didn't cover gear, but At 105, you're going to be looking at like castaway gear. You're going to be looking at tide worn gear. That's the tier 2. So tier 1, tide worn, or not tide worn. Tier 1 is castaway from darkened sea. Tier 2 is tide water or tide worn, and then high water is tier 3 for grouping. They're good. There's also the TBM, the broken mirror armor. I don't have any of that yet. I haven't done that, which is slightly better than this armor, but it costs remnants of tranquility. I don't have any of those, but you could also use that. And then at 106, so like next level, conflagrant is where it's all at, and this is where I'll be going. So like this is gonna be my upgrade here in 80% of a level, right? It's almost like double. In fact, I think it is double. Right? Yeah, it's almost like 2,000 hit points per piece. So it's going to be a significant upgrade going to conflagrant, and I just crafted all that, so it's not too big a deal. But I think that covers all of that. I don't think there's a reason to do any parsing with the Bard. Like I've done... Here, I gotta move Tawani closer. She's the log, but I can kind of just see here, like if I can do this and that. And where's the log parser window? Here you can kind of see. So I don't know why Tawani has 700k damage. Something must have just procced and whatever. But you can see, like, I was getting 200,000 DPS with Tawani when I did her video. I'm getting 60 with... Turn around. Stop ruining this for me. There we go. Getting a little bit more, but the Bard's not here really to do the damage as much as provide more damage to Tawani. If we we do that, right? If we bring Tawani and turn her around. So I was getting 200k, I think it was. The window keeps going away because I'm switching screens, but like you can kind of see Tawani's damage is kind of picking up, and I think I had some burns going too, so it's like, hit high end 200k with the monk, and it's just slowly going up now. But the Bard is staying about 60k DPS. The last time I checked on the melee mercenary was like 10 to 15k, so I'm not losing too much at the moment, but eventually I would be, because it would start doing more damage. But definitely you see Tawani's still climbing on the thing. She's using the two-hander, which is not even set up because it's not I think in her video I swapped over to it just to demonstrate something, but it's not her highest damage stuff. But yeah, so the Bard does damage, right? It's just not your heavy hitting damage. That's why I don't have any spam abilities on her. She is mostly just for utility and stuff like that. So there we go. But I don't even think I was playing songs, was I? Here, let's do this a little bit more. I just realized I wasn't even playing any songs. There we go. Let's see if we can get over 60. So 60k DPS without doing anything. Let's see what we can get actually doing something with our melody here. It's not going much over that anyway. I have this 1,000 blades discipline from, like, none of the stuff wears off, right? So since we're in guild hall, but yeah, it's not going up much, if at all. So you can see there Tawani's at 200k, not even doing anything. Just auto attacking, right? There we go. Get an insult on there. Doesn't really bring out much, but there you go. You can kind of see the that's kind of how it is, right? So that is the Bard 105. There will be more. There's gonna be a shaman video next, and then we're gonna be Continuing the Dark and Sea. I want to just finish that expansion because we're gonna have to come back to them all anyway to get all the heroes resolved and stuff like that. So might as well just finish it up while we're, you know, close to the recommended level. I think 105 is gonna be fine. We'll see how it goes. I don't know what happened with the shaman. Not even pushing buttons right now, and she must have got attacked or aggro, and all the bodyguard triggered. I have no idea. But yeah, so it's just one more video on setup for 105 Shaman, and we will probably start in a new zone, I think, for the regular series, unless I've already done it. I don't know when these are being scheduled at this point, but that'll be kind of how it goes. But thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.